stories unfold. Flip the cards, turn around. The stories we found in the shadows we dance. Take a chance, take a chance.
Good morning, Maureen. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the MyTarot Morning Reflection Daily Inventory and chance to take a breath. Good morning, Jenny. I hope everybody's doing well. I'm going to be at Brand Art Tarot tonight and tomorrow for the Fire and Ice event, so that's going to be fun. I'm doing a Fire and Ice special because it's more about having fun. So instead of charging for like full readings and stuff, I'm just going to be doing like 2 cards for 10 and 4 cards for 20. And I need to come up with a sign or something that says just come in and ask questions. Questions answered free. Just to be able to, just because I like doing this stuff. I'm excited about that, but yesterday, I tell you, I don't know. I'm glad we did the reading yesterday. You ever have just that free-floating anxiety and you're not sure what it's what it's about? So yesterday, I kept reflecting on back to the readings, especially for the last 2 days. I don't know why I was feeling this anxiety, but it was definitely there, and it was definitely just one of those things where you breathe through it, and the readings have been about just keeping things basic, and ace of something, I forgot what it was, but this week has been a good week for the tarot, just to remind me and maybe remind us about keeping things basic and let everything else go. What is it, something you said, what was it, Maureen? Yesterday, the Serenity Prayer, accept the things we cannot change and the courage to change the things we can and the wisdom to know the difference. So, you had reminded me of that. And so the day turned out good. But it really is about taking care of ourselves and recognizing when we are feeling something. You can't fix something if you don't know that it's broke. And if you don't know what the question is, then it's hard to follow through with an answer. So that's why we sometimes do the tarot, is just as a prophylactic, just as a chance to try and understand where we are for the day, understand how we're feeling, because the different archetypes that pull up in the tarot, we all relate to that. And it speaks to that subconscious. And it brings out things. It's like, oh, I hadn't thought about that. So that's why I'm grateful for people and everybody who shows up and for doing all this. And so, but that's what we're doing, is we're doing our morning meditation here, and reminds us we can put our feet flat on the floor and roll them ankles, because that feels really good. Have the butt doing the kitty dance. Checking in with the shoulders. Even when I'm doing 5-minute quick read 2 cards with people, it's like I still always want to ask them how they're doing with their shoulders, because you can tell so much. And then the neck. Oh, that feels much better. There's that light switch. But had a great time with Jace. Oh, yeah, I couldn't make it last night. To the Lune. Life. So, there's that breath. Now, what are we going to do here? I'm going to switch over here. And think positive thoughts. Project them out. The cards remind us to take that breath as we listen to them like they're the sounds of the ocean. Oh. I really do feel that light switch. I'm coming up on almost 1,000 videos now. I have like 950. And it becomes more of a light switch when I flip these cards now. I think it's good that we all have a routine that reminds us, it's like, let's flip that switch. So, I am going to do our 3 stacks because it's very exciting. What can I say? Because it's like each one of these is a different thread going out to the universe. It's like each one of these is a different thought. This one's a different idea. And if we believe in the multiverse, it's like each one of these is a different path because this stack will lead down one path. This stack is a totally different conversation. Will take us in a different direction from this stack. And it is Friday. It's exciting. How's this weather looking out there? It's probably going to snow this weekend. So it's a fire and ice event I'm doing Friday and Saturday, today and tomorrow. So if it snows, I guess that's perfect. So I'm going to take the bottom stack then, because I like to think of that as things that are underneath that might be influencing us and we don't even realize it. I'm going to take that important cup of coffee. I'm going to make I'm going to actually do our 3 in 1. I'm not going to make our 3 stacks again. That would be silly. So, this is the exciting part. It always is. I'm going to flip each card over one at a time like we're reading the pages of a book. Ooh. So this is a interesting card because swords are our thoughts and our anxieties and our ideas. So when we have an ace of swords, we have that idea, something, boy, that's a good idea. But then when we get to the 2 of swords, we have choices to make. So the 2 of swords is about making a choice, coming up with our answer of what we want to do. Sometimes the choices aren't plain or easy. I mean, these 2 swords are identical. So how would you even choose between these 2, right? And so that's why we're blindfolded here, because sometimes it's just not easy to make a choice. But like I like to say with the universe, is that if you don't make a choice, then something's going to make that choice for us. So, let's see what the next card is. It is the Knight of Pentacles. Knights, element of fire. So this is a court card. Court card could be you, could be me, could be somebody else. Again, it's masculine energy, feminine energy. It's not male or female. And this is one of those cards that is, knights are the element of fire. So we have passion, we have action, we have movement, we have drive, we have, well, hold on, he's standing still. So we have a knight who's supposed to be charging into battle like all the other knights in the deck. And yet this one's on more like a plow horse. And he's the element of earth. So it's more like, and earth is, the coins are home, health, finances, and all the things that keep us grounded. And so this is about, it's like we may have all that fire and energy. But sometimes we need to stop and slow down. Sometimes that's a good thing, because it makes us breathe. Sometimes with this card, and it depends upon the rest, sometimes it's good to stop and take that breath. Other times, we should be doing movement. We should be doing something. There's action that needs to happen. But sometimes the Knight of Coins, maybe he's taking too many notes. Maybe he's waiting for something instead of doing something. So, But he's staring at this card, and that's going to tell us what's going on. And this is why when I teach the cards, there's no one set definition. It's all based on the cards around it. Because most of the books will say, you know, how negative the Knight of Coins is because he should. It's like, no, sometimes when we have a choice to make, it can go either way. You know, we need restraint, or restraint's the problem. But we need to see what he's staring at. And it's the Ace of Swords. So look at the story here. Sometimes when we're not sure, sometimes we wait for something to make that choice for us. Other times we just make the choice quickly and throw caution to the wind, flip a coin, all those things like that. And yet we have this Knight of Coins who has stopped, said, look, don't just react today. Don't just make a decision on a whim because somebody's pressuring you. Don't take an action just because you feel stressed, you feel anxiety. If you're not sure, listen to that voice in the back of your head. Slow down. Connect with the earth, because that's our feet. You know, get our feet planted flat. And then take all that bottled energy that, you know, we need to make it. We need to, they expect this. I expect this. We expect, I should be moving. I should be doing this. And listen to the Knight of Coins in the back of our head that's saying, you know what? There's a third option. And the third option is to start back at step one. The Ace of Swords is all about new ideas, new thoughts, doing things differently. So today, when you might be feeling an anxiety, today when you might feel your uncertainty, then we need to take our energies and we need to become the Knight of Coins, and we need to focus on being grounded. You know, if we're not sure, take a step back, but don't just do something to do it. So let's see what the advice card is. The advice card is the Nine of Wands. So wands again are fire, energy, creativity, passion. Nines are about fulfillment. Nines are about getting things done. There's a lot of effort that we put in. So when you have one wand, that's our passion, that's our ideas. When you have four wands, four legs on a table. But wands have a lot of vibration, a lot of action to them. And the more wands we have, the further up in the numerology we go, the heavier that burden can get. But there's things that we need to do, and sometimes it feels like, you know, that we've put in all this effort, and we get things done. But to do that final step, or sometimes we're so close to something, we get tired. You know, we put in our time and effort. Sometimes it's hard to start over. He's looking back in the past. Is this a reminder that's telling us we can put in all this fire and effort and get whatever it is done that we want to get done? But if this is the advice card, it's also about saying, look at what all this energy sometimes brings us. Is this how we want to put our energy in there? You know, fine, you want me to do it? I'm going to do this, and I'll show you. I'll make myself so miserable, you're going to regret it. You know? Sometimes this is that effort that we put in just to say, I'll show you, or I'll show me, or, oh yeah, well, I'm going to do this regardless. Or we can take a look at where we are today. We can be the knight, which is the element of fire also. But we can slow down, put all 4 of our feet on the flat on the ground. And we can say, you know what? I don't have to do it this way. This is the way that says, you know, I'll show you, I'll show me. This is what I'm supposed to do. And this is how I am at the end of the day. And I did this, and it's like, pat me on the back. Or we stop and we do it the way that is new, different, something that doesn't have to kill us at the end of the day. Thank you, everybody, once again. Have that amazing, amazing weekend. My goodness. And I will talk to everybody again on Monday. Take care, and thanks again.
Stars in the sky, cards in my hand, searching for signs, lost in the sand. Whispers of fate, echoes of dreams in the dark slate. Nothing's as it seems. Flip the cards, turn around. The stories we have found in the shadows we dance. Take a chance, take a chance. Ghostly figure